Colton Haker battled Taddy Blazusiak to take the 2019 AMA EnduroCross Championship, and he's back to defend his title as we kick off the 2020 GEICO Motorcycle AMA EnduroCross Championship presented by Lucas Oil. Welcome to Glen Helen Raceway in San Bernardino, California for the 2020 EnduroCross Championship, a 6-round series that will challenge these riders in a little different way this year. All the races will be outside here at Glen Helen Raceway, which will challenge these riders with a track that will be breaking down different than anything they've seen before. The riders are walking the track, making sure that they are ready to take on round number 1. Cody Webb is back. Colton Haker, number 1 on his bike. We've seen that before. It's going to be a good battle between these two, but there are other riders who want a challenge for this championship. Let's take a look at the track preview with the legend Destry Abbott. He'll take you around the course here in San Bernardino.
Here we are, round 1 of the 2020 EnduroCross season at Glen Helen. Into the first corner, nice flowy first corner. You'll see the top guys are going to go slow, tight inside and protect that inside, so you won't be able to double like I did there. Inside here, over abrupt, basically a big step up into the fun kind of finish line tire. This section right here, a really difficult step up. And now we're gonna come into a section where I'll take the outside, which is a little slower. You'll see those top guys hitting that abrupt tire and jumping over most of them. I like that little, basically fun little jump over the pipe. Now we're gonna go over to a tire. We're gonna go over this little log, back into the matrix section. You'll see I messed that section up. I rushed it a little too much. A wheel tap there. Now this is a fun little section. This is more of a motocross, arena cross section, and really abrupt double there into a log. Back over the step up into the rock section, another technical section, really using your legs. Into that little step up. Of course, this K-rail, we have three K-rails that are super technical, and you can't rush this. This is something you'll see the top guys going extremely fast, but it's definitely difficult. This is a really abrupt step up. If you can get that, the top guys will make it look easy. That's a technical section, and there you are, round 1, finish line.
It's going to be a racy track here at Glen Helen. Here's the format for the Pro Super EnduroCross. It starts with daytime qualifying. That is complete. Tristan Hart, the Red Bull KTM rider, was your fastest. We're going to have a 3-moto format with Olympic scoring, so the least combined points will win you the overall. She's back for 2020. Our very own Kristen Beat joins us trackside. She's at the starting gate with our GEICO Motorcycle pre-race report.
My first response, my initial reaction towards seeing this track here at Glen Helen, it has Colton Haker's name written all over it. This is a hybrid track. It's not as technical as a traditional EnduroCross track. It has more space in between the obstacles, which means riders will be carrying more speed and the jumps are bigger. Colton Haker raced professional motocross up until 2010 and made a run at it. He said with years of experience racing in similar conditions, he's not intimidated by this footprint. His resume gives him an advantage, and something to note, he is on a 350, so it has a bit more punch than the guys on the 250s, and here it'll come in handy outside of the obstacles.
Track is perfect for Colton Haker. It's a fast track, very racy. A lot of passing lines too. You can make moves if you need to. Colton Haker, of course, a rider who is not afraid to make a pass. Right next to him, the 84 of Tristan Hart, the Red Bull KTM rider, your fastest qualifier from earlier today. Not a surprise for the competition. They feel this is a guy who's going to have a breakout season, and that's saying a lot when you hear it from Colton Haker and Cody Webb, 2 of the favorites. This is moto number 1 of a 3-moto format. You see Hart, Abbott, Haker, Webb. Those were the first 4 qualifiers earlier today. They choose their gate picks. They're right there in the middle. There's Graffiter in the very inside, kind of taking the defensive line. If he can get a jump on that Yamaha 250, he might have a shot at this hole shot. 30-second board, turns to 5. The revs go up, and the gate is going to drop on the 2020 EnduroCross Championship. There's Hart. Abbott up the inside. Very good move for him. He let Hart drift wide. Abbott takes the defensive line up the inside. Now he goes inside on the right-hander, takes the lead, crosses the kicker finish line. He's going to lead this thing around lap number 1 of the 2020 season. And you see Haker, you see Webb all up there in the top 3. Wow, Abbott making the jump right away. Over the pipe, takes the defensive line again on the inside. Very smart line choice for him on this opening lap, taking the insides and being protective. That's what you got to do when you've got Colton Haker, the defending champ, on your back tire. There's Haker in second. Hart in third. Webb in fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the 4 riders we expected to be up front. We saw it in qualifying earlier today. These guys were sprinting, and Cooper Abbott, a rider known for his sprint speed, now finds himself out front. Again, taking the inside line, but will it work? You got Hager. He's such a great racer. He knows when to take different lines and try something different. Outside goes double to the inside and makes the move. Now watch Tristan Hart, the other KTM rider, makes the move on Abbott as well. Now they got to slow down over the K-rails. And look at Hart up the inside, trying to be aggressive. And sometimes the aggression can bite you, and it did for him right there on the opening lap. Went to make the move, and now finds himself on the ground. And if you are the competition, this is not what you want to see. Colton Haker, the #1 machine, defending champ, out front early in the 6-minute race. And, you know, he's a hard rider to pass. That's if you have the speed to even stay with the guy. And the Rockstar Husqvarna rider gets out front, but if he looks over his shoulder, he's going to see the rival, the nemesis, Cody Webb, the #2 machine, who has now made the pass on Abbott into second. But for Haker, he's in a great spot. Just enough space behind him to take the lines that he wants to. He doesn't have to be defensive, doesn't have to block, doesn't have to worry. He can just focus on the lines that he wants. He's going to use that 350 power to come out, hit that double. Single to the inside. And what you'll notice with Haker, constant attack, always looking for places to press. Until, of course, you get to the K-rails. You'll see the patience right there. He turns right again, and now he'll attack. He's going to double up. Step off, makes a little mistake, but it doesn't affect his lap time too much. He continues to pull away on the #2 of Cody Webb. Let's head down to Kristen Beat with more on the #2.
Cody Webb is on a new ride this season, the Sherco 300. It's a bike based and built out of France. He grew up racing trials on the Sherco, so it kind of feels like home. And when the team reached out to him to spearhead their EnduroCross effort, he jumped on the opportunity. He said being a beacon, being a leader for this team and its development is exactly where he wanted to be, so it's a good fit for Cody Webb on the 2-bike.
It might even be a great fit if you look at the relationship between Cody Webb and Sherco that is forming. You're talking about a rider with so much experience and the ability to develop a bike. Again, they have a machine that they feel is competitive, but they know that with Cody Webb, they can make some improvements, make this bike even better. He's just got this resume of putting out results, and they know that his experience, his speed, and his talent will take that bike, hopefully, to the next level. And right now, he sits second, right behind Colton Haker. Hasn't been able to make up any distance, but at least keeping himself in range of making room. Look at the ruts forming right there on that step up before the finish line jump. This track is going to change throughout the day, and we're still early in main event #1. Now here's Tristan Hart. We saw him go down on the opening lap. He has already made his way back up to 4th, right on the back of Cooper Abbott, who hole shot this race. So KTM running 3rd and 4th. Look at Abbott right there jumping that. Very aggressive, made sure he got all the way over the tires. And I expect a lot from both of these riders this year. For Abbott, unfortunately, didn't get to race the 2019 season, had an injury to his wrist. He said he could ride, but he wasn't able to race. He wasn't able to attack the sections like he wanted to, so unfortunately had to skip the 2019 season, watched the entire thing, obviously did a lot of studying, and that's why you see him up here in the top 3 right now. And for Tristan Hart, again, 2019 was a great season for him. It put himself on the map. And for the fans and for the people in the pits, they all know that Tristan Hart's got something special. And they expect to see a lot of it in 2020. Look at the inside move right there. Jump to the inside. Abbott fights back, steps up, and gets him back. And now you get into this patient section of the track. Hart went down here earlier. No issues on this lap. What a great back and forth between the 2 KTM riders. Hart steps up, steps off, and now finds himself in a top 3 position. Abbott now back to 4th. You look at the leaderboard. There's Gersten and Graffender running 5 and 6. A little bit off the pace of the first 4, but not too far back. Colton Haker continuing to lead, managing his lead, running about the same distance that he had a lap ago. So whatever he's doing is working, because he is not relinquishing any of that lead, and he is definitely getting everything out of that 350cc machine. Watch him come out of the corner right here, and you can hear it hit. Boom, to pull that double. Kristen, what's it sound like to you?
Daniel, I hear a lot of guys casing the landing on the jump. You just hear their end kind of snap because this is a racier moto-style track. What should these riders be doing to limit that? What should these riders be doing to race more efficiently through these rhythm sections and obstacles?
I think it's just finding the balance between aggression and patience, and that's what Colton Haker has mastered. You see him on certain sections of the track, he's able to be super aggressive in between the obstacles, but then when he gets to the logs or the matrix or the pipe, you watch him find that patience, slow down, and make sure he executes those sections, Christian. That's what you're hearing. And of course, when you see Cody Webb and Colton Haker, these are two of the best in the sport. That's why you see the number 1 and the number 2 on their bikes, because they have mastered the art of racing EnduroCross. Now, Cody Webb, again, is sitting right back there behind Haker, keeping him in view. But you have to imagine that he's happy with this ride. It's going to be a 6-round series. He's got a lot of time to develop this bike and develop his own skill and his comfort around the machine. So to be running second this early, keeping Haker in sight, it's a positive for him and the team. He's an ultra-competitive racer. You have to imagine that once he finds that comfort, these guys are going to be in big trouble because Cody Webb knows how to win in EnduroCross. But right now, patiently sitting in second. Haker right in front of him, waiting for a mistake if it comes. And if you look at the way he rides, Webb, he is so technical in the bike. He stands through everything. You see the balance and the way he approaches every single obstacle. Very technical, very efficient. Complete contrast to the way that Colton Haker rides. This guy goes for it. You see the aggression on the ground, and with 1 lap to go, as long as he stays clean through all these tough sections, he's going to get the first moto win of the season. But you're talking about two competitors who have a long history of battling and racing hard while riding completely different. Again, Haker, the aggressor. Webb, more of a tactician, looking at every obstacle as a way to make up time. Haker looking at every opportunity to be on the flat ground as a way to make up time. And that's why you'll see him throw down that aggressive riding style throughout this series. 2 corners to go, and he's going to get it. Steps up over. 1 more run through the K-rails. He's got a little bit of lap traffic, but with the lead he has, he doesn't have to worry about it. And look at that patience. Just stand up, pop up over, steps up, steps off. First checkered flag of the 2020 season is going to go to the number 1 machine of Colton Haker. And these guys are in trouble if it's going to be like this because he got out front early and took care of business. Webb is second. Tristan Hart back up into the top 3. And that's Moto 1 of the 2020 season.
Colton Haker's moto background serving him well tonight. Colton, where some riders were challenged and struggled to clear certain obstacles, you did so with ease and with minimal air time, but with the track starting to cup out, how will you have to change your approach moving into the next moto?
Not easy out there. Outdoor track, soft dirt. Every lap it's getting harder. So the first lap it's the nicest, and then it gets worse and worse as 15 riders circulate the track over and over again. By the 10th lap, it was pretty hard. So trying to maintain myself, not make a ton of mistakes, keep it together. I don't know. It's something about the red plate and just extra pressure. It's so annoying. You just got to get over and ride.
Well, there's a lot of riders in the field that would love to be annoyed with the number 1 plate on their bike, but for now, it's Colton Haker's. The 2020 AMA EnduroCross Series is brought to you by GEICO Motorcycle and by Lucas Oil. Welcome back to Glen Helen Raceway in San Bernardino, California for EnduroCross, where Colton Haker was the big winner in main event number 1, and we sat down with the defending champ earlier today.
Yeah, what's up guys? I'm Colton Haker, and I'm the 2019 AMA EnduroCross champion. Last few years, obviously I've had a couple championships in a row and on both sides of the pond, but I would say the most contributing factor has been just years of just mistakes and failures and pitfalls that have I've learned and experienced through and gotten through to the other side, and now I've managed to not make as many mistakes and clean those things up and perfect my craft. When you first get the red plate, there's always this expectation. No matter if you're performing and you want to get on the podium for the first time, there's these steps that you take throughout the time of your career that you have to get to. So getting that first podium is one of them, getting that first win is one of them, getting that first championship is one of them, and then defending that championship is another one. So I'm past that point. I've defended quite a few titles up now, so when I look at the red plate, it isn't such a big deal because I've had it for a while and things have been good and I've been lucky to keep it rolling. confidence just comes in stages, you know? Very rarely does it happen for athletes where they're just out there and just make things happen their rookie year or whatever. Most of the times you see any of us out there that are winning sports, they've probably been doing that for the majority of their life. This is one of the first outdoor venues we've ever had in EnduroCross. Being that it's outdoors, there's, you know, the weather, there's the extra room, there's more dirt available. So right off the bat, from an arena, inside an arena to outdoors, there's a lot of variables. I was stoked when I came to look at it. I was honestly expecting a lot less, but then seeing a video on Instagram from a fellow racer, I came out a day early just to come see it because I was excited and I was like, man, it looks really cool. So like I said, I'm ready to get this season started and stoked to be here. Grateful for everyone's commitment to the series and making this happen.
And it's no question that this larger track will be the challenge for 2020. Let's go down to Kristen Beat with our Lucas Oil track report.
Daniel, when the EnduroCross Series raced indoors, we grew very accustomed to that hard-packed kind of clay-based tracks. But here at Glen Helen in San Bernardino, California, that is not the case. This outdoor track has a loamier, kind of sandy-based dirt. And because of that, this track is deteriorating very quickly. The ruts are getting deeper. The obstacles are becoming more exposed. And as you can see on the lip of this jump even, the log is nearly fully exposed. So that makes the approach very challenging for riders to figure out where their platform is to get over these jumps. And also, it makes them dependent on the log, and as it's starting to lose some of its bark, it's getting even more slippery. So again, the soil composition here in Glen Helen and San Bernardino is going to be tricky for the riders tonight.
Tricky and changing. Hey, where's Haker? Where's Webb? They're in the back row. It's an inverted start for Moto 2. One moto down, 2 to go at Glen Helen Raceway for the opening round of the EnduroCross Championship, where Colton Haker started out strong. Moto number 2, they're going to invert it. 6 minutes plus 1 lap. You're going to see the top riders from the first main event in the back row, making things extra challenging, especially on the opening lap. You could see the reverse order right there. Haker, Webb, Hart, that was 1, 2, 3. Their gate picks were 14, 15, and 16. So far outside in that back row, and these riders are going to want to make some moves quick if they want a shot at winning Moto number 2. The revs are up. The gate's going to go down. You got the 39 up the inside with a good jump out of the gate. 17 around the outside. Where's Webb? Where's Haker? Where's Hart? Rider down right off the start. Opportunity. You see Cooper Abbott right there into the top 4. What a good move for him on the opening corner. You just got to find a way to just cut through the pack, and he does. There's Haker, Graffender, Hart, Webb way in the back. But there's Abbott up the inside, and if he could get into the lead right here on the opening lap, that will be huge, and he does. Inside line takes the lead, and for a rider who was looking for a breakout season in 2020, well, the first main, pretty solid. Moto number 2, out front early, and the best part is his competition is buried in the pack. It's a huge opportunity for him with this open track to take the lines that he wants and try to get away from this pack. And if I think about Abbott's career, you're talking about a rider who is known for being very fast. He's super quick on the hot laps. He was second in qualifying, but he told me he needs to be more consistent, string these laps together if he wants to be up front winning races, and right now is a huge opportunity. If he can put down 3 or 4 laps early in this race and keep that gap late, he might be able to get the first win of his EnduroCross career. Look at the lead he already has, and again, that is the result of being super aggressive in those first 2 corners. Look at the lead. Green flag is out. Over a 5-second lead already for Abbott. And you have to think that Destry Abbott, his dad, is fired up right now. These guys have been working super hard. And if you look at the goals that they have for themselves and their team, they want to be up front as much as possible. He said he came into the season wanting to be a top 5 guy. Well, you might have to reevaluate. 4th place finish in the opening main event. Now you're leading main event 2. If you can get it done in the opening round, they're going to have to take a closer look at what their goals and maybe adjust, maybe start making more of a run at the top guys, because right now he is taking care of business at the front of this pack. Look at the wheelie over the whoops right there. Solid ride so far. Again, the consistency with him has been the issue. He said it, and he said he's been working on it in the offseason. Didn't do many sprint laps, just focus on putting together consistent laps and making sure that the skills that he has he can do for the length of the race. And you're seeing it right now, so aggressive in the more motocross style parts of the track. And the EnduroCross style sections, pretty clean too. No mistakes. The lead is bigger than it was a lap ago. And there's the experience of Cody Webb making his way through the pack, finding himself now in the top 2. Putting that Sherco in a great position to get the overall. Remember, it is a 3-moto format, which means you take the scores from all 3 motos to give you the overall. It's Olympic scoring, so a first or a second or a third is better when it comes to the points. You want 1, 2, and 3. You don't want to stack 25, 22, 20 like they do in Supercross, Motocross, and Arena Cross. Solid ride from Webb, in a great position right now. A 2-2 would put him in position for the overall. A 4-1 from Abbott puts him in contention as well. Where is Haker? 8th place at the moment. He's going to have to make some passes here early if he wants to get in contention to make a run at Webb or Abbott, who is gone right now. Cody Webb, experienced rider, depends on his technical style and his skill set. Says his raw speed's a little off coming into the season. He did a lot of development with that Sherco 2-stroke, and then at the last minute decided to switch to the 4-stroke. Felt it would be more competitive in this series, so the development with this bike is not as far along as the 2-stroke development that he put in the last few months. Graffender now up to 3rd, riding that Yamaha 250F, 2nd year in a row on that machine. Says he loves the agility of the bike. The Yamaha 250 is a fast bike. And when I asked him, I said, is the power the reason for the choice? He said, no, it's the weight. It's the agility of the machine. The Yamaha engine is more straight up and down. He says it's better for EnduroCross. Said it was a no-brainer for him to ride this machine. Now he finds himself in 3rd. A solid start to the season, just like he had in 2019. Let's go to Chris and Beat with more.
Corey Graffender won the first moto of the 2019 season today. He seemed optimistic about his 2020 effort, saying, I like the track, it's going to change frequently, and I adapt well, so he seems very confident about his efforts here in Glen Helen.
Yeah, had the huge win in 2019 to start the season. It's a rider who, on any given day, can put it up front. Again, it all comes down to just what you do on the start and the opening laps. If these riders find themselves buried in the pack, very, very difficult. There's Haker right now up to 4th. You saw the dominance in moto number 1. Of course, when he's out front, he's almost unstoppable. But in moto number 2, had to work his way through the pack, and if you don't make those moves quick, you find yourself in some battles that might take a little bit longer than you'd like. You can see the aggression picking up right there for Haker. Just out of the screen, you can see Abbott almost 2 straightaways out front. So this is one of those scenarios where Haker's got to look at the overall and say, hey, if I can get myself up into 3rd, like he's doing right now, he, well, had the pass, lost it, now he's got it again. Now he's back in contention for the overall. And that's where the experience of Colton Haker, you see the number 1 on his bike, this isn't the first time he's ran it. He knows how to win a championship. And the way to win a championship is not to free. Whoa, look at Graffiter, is not done. And I'll tell you what, if you want to send a message at the opening round, go at the number 1 machine and let them know that you're not playing around. That was a great attempt by Graffender. Not afraid to be aggressive. Letting the defending champ know that he is here to play. Haker now has 3rd, maybe just enough space where he can take the line that he wants. Maybe, and it looks like 3rd is the best we're going to get out of Colton Haker in this main event. But look up front. Webb has caught up to the back of Cooper. Abbott goes to the inside, tried to make the move. Wasn't able to do it now through the locks. Rolls over. Abbott taps through, and he knows Webb's there now. The pressure is on. Kind of slows down a little bit. Whoa. Then brake checks him in the corner. Great defensive move by Abbott, and was able to pull the double. That is huge right there, that he was able to make that double out and open up the space. But the pressure is on. Now here comes Cody Webb in a section where you know he's strong. Up the inside, over the K-rails, 1, 2, and 3 into the lead. Cody Webb, the number 2 machine, was 2nd in moto number 1, now takes the lead. And for Abbott, what a great ride. If he can get a shot at Webb right here, he can try to fight back and get this win, but he might be satisfied with the 2nd. And Webb goes down. Abbott hits him, almost goes over the bars, and takes the lead back. What a turn of events. Webb is up quickly, still 2nd. And for Cooper Abbott, coming into the 2020 season, looking for top 5s, wanting to be one of the guys, well, how about you go and beat the guys? He's in position to do that right now, making a statement at the opening round of the championship. Have to imagine the nerves are piling up right now, not just for him, but for his dad, Destry, as well. He knows what's at stake in this race. First win of his career, staring him right in the face. 2 corners to go. And what a ride. Solid laps. He said he worked on consistency in the offseason. And you saw it right there in a 6-minute plus 1 lap race. Consistent, strong, fast. Everything you need to win races in EnduroCross. Well, he's done it. One more obstacle. He's going to step up. Look at the one-hander. Don't do it too early. He steps off, crosses the finish line. And Cooper Abbott gets the win early in the season. There's Webb, there's Haker, and we've got a great point situation going into Moto number 3. Look at even Webb congratulating Abbott. He knows how hard it is to win an EnduroCross, and he knows that Abbott deserved it. He gets the win. Cody Webb second, Colton Haker third. Ooh, this is going to be a good one. Let's go down to Kristen Beat.
Cooper Abbott earning his first Super Enduro Moto win in this series. Congratulations, Cooper. A game of cat and mouse between you and Cody Webb. You had Cody Webb. You made a mistake over the K-rail. Cody Webb was able to get around you, but then Cody Webb replied by making a mistake. How were you able to respond to the pressure and earn this win?
Yeah, it was definitely hard. I haven't honestly spent too many laps leading, so it was good, and I actually felt not too bad in the lead, which I was super happy about. And yeah, I got a good start from the back row somehow since they flip-flopped it, and man, Cody started coming, and I did a little block pass, which, sorry about that, but yeah, he got around me in the K-rails, and then he went down, and I was already too committed in the jump and landed right on his bike, and both feet came out. Don't know how I saved it, but luckily got the win, and I think Cody got second.
Congratulations, Cooper. I know you want to celebrate this one with your dad, Destry. A big night for Cooper Abbott.
He controlled the nerves and he managed the distractions. Cooper Abbott wins Moto number 2. Welcome back to San Bernardino, California, the legendary Glen Helen Raceway for EnduroCross 2020. At EnduroCross, they have amateur racing, they have the women's class, and we're going to highlight that right now. It was a 4-minute race plus 1 lap, and Shelby Turner with the number 1 on her bike. That's from last year's dominating performance. She was on fire. Picked up right where she left off in 2019 in 2020, grabbed the whole shot, and once she got out front, she just took off. Now you can see that the conditions are starting to change. The track crew's gone out there to modify and fix some of the sections of the track, and the sun has gone down, so there's a little bit of a shadow for the women's race right now. Definitely the conditions came into play, but for Shelby Turner, it did not matter. She took care of business out front, handling every section of this track. The motocross sections, super fast. The EnduroCross sections, super technical, and she handled them perfectly, and that's why there's that big number 1 on her bike and on the back of her jersey right there. FXR is loving it when they print the number 1 on her jersey because they know they've got a winner in Shelby Turner. Now with EnduroCross, of course, there's the challenges of the obstacles, but one of the biggest challenges is just keeping balance and staying in control of your machine. Using those controls, you have the clutch on the left hand, you have the front brake and the throttle on the right hand, and when you do it right, is a thing of beauty. But when things go wrong, they can go really wrong. Here's Louise Forsley running second. She's out of Lake Elsinore, California, so just down the street, having a solid race, running in that number 2 position. But a huge mistake in the rocks is going to cost her, and Morgan Tankey will make the pass on her beta machine. She's running third, but she moves into second right here when Forsley goes down. Loses a lot of time. A tight battle right there through the rocks. Morgan makes that move, crosses over, takes the position, and puts herself in a great spot to get that number 2 spot right here in the women's class. Shelby Turner again got out front early, took care of business. You can see her up there about a straightaway ahead. Just a solid performance, backing up what she did in 2019. And the folks at KTM have got to be happy when they show up at the 2020 EnduroCross Championship. They want to win that women's title. And when you got Shelby Turner under the tent, you know your chances are really good. She put on a clinic out front, never contested, and just was flawless throughout the entire race. Again, the patience and the aggression, perfect combination for her. Grabs the checkered flag and gets it done here at the opening round. And this one was not close. Great ride for the KTM back Shelby Turner. And and she's at the podium with Kristen B.
Our defending women's champion, Shelby Turner, taking the win here with ease, no less. Shelby, how would you describe the track conditions out there, and what enabled you to work through that track so seamlessly?
Yeah, the track conditions are they're awesome. Probably, as far as dirt goes, probably some of the best EnduroCross dirt we've ever got to ride. The only problem with really good dirt is it makes a lot of ruts and a lot of deep holes, but it was a lot of fun all day. The track's been tougher than it looks like it should be, but made for some good racing. And I mean, the girls it's tough, so I give kudos to everyone who shows up and, you know, comes out here to ride, but it's a lot of fun today, and just so happy that Kicker and everyone is able to put this on.
Great ride for Shelby Turner, but Moto number 3 of the Pro Division is coming up next. We're going to crown an overall winner. Welcome back to Glen Helen Raceway for EnduroCross round number 1. Cody Webb had a win, slipped through his fingers in Moto 2, but he's got another shot at it right now. Here's our GEICO motorcycle pre-race report with Kristen B.
Moving into this final moto, the Olympic-style scoring has Colton Haker and Cody Webb tied for the overall. And during that previous moto, Cody Webb forfeited what could have been an easy win for the Sherco team. But when I spoke with Sherco team owner Ron Salmon, the performance expectations are clear for Cody Webb. He is expected to contend for this championship, but Ron is also allowing this team time to mature. They're still figuring out exactly what direction they want to go and what works best here. 2 weeks ago, Cody transitioned from the 2-stroke to the 4-stroke bike. He has limited time on it, but they trust this bike being an aggressive factor in Moto 2. I'm looking for Cody to be up front in Moto 3.
It's the calm before the storm. Moto number 3, those 3 riders, Abbott, Haker, Webb, all in position to get the overall. It's a winner-take-all for these 3, for Tristan Hart, Corey Graffender. Out of contention to win this overall, but still looking to stack some points here in Moto number 3. Put themselves in position to stay alive in this championship. You see Hart there on the outside. The Red Bull KTM rider had a rough Moto number 2. Abbott in gate number 2. He's been great out of the start, especially in the opening laps. He's been super fast, super aggressive. Can he do it again? Can he take the confidence that he has earned in Moto number 2 and apply it here and get himself an overall? 30-second board's gonna turn to 5. Here comes the revs. You saw a little bit of a jump on the outside. It doesn't affect Colton Haker. And the number 1 machine puts himself out front. And for Tristan Hart, great start too. Carries momentum around the outside. Didn't get pushed wide. When you're on the outside, you're in position to get pushed out if you're not there soon enough. There's Webb in 3rd, Abbott in 4th. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the 4 heavy favorites coming into this race, but Haker out front. This is what the competition does not want to see. And for Colton Haker, an off-season injury set back his program just a little bit. His prep wasn't what he wanted coming in. But this guy is a racer. His competition will tell you he's a warrior, he's a fighter, he's fearless. And when he gets out front, he takes care of business. Remember in his sit-down interview, he mentioned how he used to make a lot of mistakes. Well, that's when he was younger. He was trying to become the number 1 guy. He had a lot of pressure on him. He wanted to be the best. And once he figured it out, he really figured it out. The consistency has been a huge part of his championship runs. And those little mistakes that he made in the early parts of his career, not as many. They still exist in EnduroCross. I don't think you can escape it. With tracks like this, you're going to make mistakes, but he has limited those mistakes. And early in Moto number 3, he has opened up a gap. Tristan Hart sitting in 2nd. A rider that Red Bull KTM is very excited about. He rode the KTM a year ago. Had some breakout rides where a lot of the people in the series were thinking this is going to be the year when he makes his run at the top. And riding for that Red Bull KTM team, no question helping him in 2020. Here's Kristen.
Tristan Hart is coming in with a lot of confidence. He's on a new ride with the factory KTM team, and he won TKO in August. That's the largest hard enduro national in the United States. Tristan Hart is putting the pieces together this year, Daniel.
And Kristen, he's still developing. We got to remember he's a young rider in his early 20s, and he's had some breakout rides. People remember those rides, but he hasn't been able to do them consistently, and that's because, again, he's still developing as a racer, trying to polish his craft. But this guy goes for it. There's no question he has a little bit of the Colton Haker riding style in him where he really attacks the flat sections of the track, gives it everything he's got. He's not afraid to battle, not afraid to race. And Colton Haker even mentioned that Reminds him a little bit of a young Colton Haker, someone who is chasing the front and not afraid to take chances. And once he figures it out, they are in trouble. Here's Cody Webb sitting in third. Kristen mentioned, made that switch to the 4-stroke. Working directly with the folks back in France to develop this bike, getting more parts each and every week, making sure that that 4-stroke machine is race ready. And with Webb, you got to guarantee that he's going to be consistent and solid. Second in the first moto, second in the second moto, but he would love to have that fall back. He put himself up front and had a win in moto number 2, but that little mistake cost him. You're not going to see much of that from Cody Webb. He is such a technical rider. You just watch the way he rides. He stands everywhere. He's great with his controls, patient. He admitted to me, though, the raw speed, he's going to have to improve on it. 2019, he took the season off, had a torn ACL, so missed some time. So maybe a little cautious here in the opening round. New bike, new team, coming back from the injury. This is the guy who I expect to get faster as the season goes on. But the skill level and that experience is definitely going to keep him up front early while he figures everything out. He sits third right now. Hart is somewhat moved away from him. Still putting in solid laps as he gets through the rocks. Jumps in. You see the move like that. That's the kind of stuff you're going to see from Cody Webb as the season goes on. He'll find those new lines. He'll find ways to do things a little bit more creative than the rest. You can just tell by the way he rides the bike that he's got a very unique skill set on the motorcycle in those technical sections. But these flat sections right here and some of the more supercross sections, that's where he's going to have to make the gains as we move deeper into this championship. There's Tristan Hart, and he goes down, and you're going to see a little bit of that early in the championship. Again, this is a rider who is not afraid to send it. He wants to win, and he knows the way to win this series and the way to win these individual races is he's going to have to take chances, and sometimes those chances will cost him, but he's learning. Webb, Haker, they've acknowledged that Tristan Hart, he's a serious candidate to be a champion in this series. He's going to have to clean up some of those little mistakes, but he will. And now Colton Haker through the lap traffic. Again, EnduroCross is tough in itself. When you get into the middle part of the race, you get to the lap traffic, that's when things get super tough because now you have moving obstacles that might be in your line, going to take you out of your flow, take you out of your rhythm. And all it takes is one mistake. See, if Hager was to the right there, he could have been trapped behind the number 55. That would have been just what Cody Webb needed to get back into this race. But Hager, again, using that experience to get by the lap riders, tries to get that flow back. It's hard. You try to get into a rhythm. You attack the easy spots. You're more patient in the technical spots. But when a lapper kind of affects you right there a little bit, you lose that rhythm. You got to get it back as quick as possible. That's hard to do. There's distractions everywhere on this track. Every 10 seconds, you're faced with something new, something challenging. And those lap riders can make things super difficult. He gets through them pretty good, and it looks to be back on pace now. And that offseason injury not looking like much of a problem right now early in this championship. Here's Kristen Beat with more on the number 2.
In describing the Sherco, Cody Webb said this European specialty bike is perfect for enduro. Its chassis isn't built like a MOTO chassis, so it flows a little bit better for him. Also, the power delivery is less erratic, which makes it perfect for the segmented track features in the EnduroCross series.
And Kristen, that's one of the reasons why he's going to excel in some of these tougher sections. Again, this bike is built to handle the EnduroCross sections of the track. It's not as strong in some of the moto sections, so he's going to have to make up the difference in those technical spots, be a little faster in the rocks, be a little faster in the logs to make up for some of the time that he might lose in these more moto sections. You see right there, when it comes to the balance and technique, the bike works great underneath him. He's going to go step up, step off, and over this double. And you see Haker there at the end of the straightaway. He's not far out of reach for Cody Webb. And Cody, this guy wants to win so bad. He's so competitive. And he knows that he can challenge Colton Haker for this championship, but early in the series, he's going to have to make sure that things are right so he can make his run at the remaining 5 rounds. But with 1 lap to go, Colton Haker is putting together a 1-3-1 moto score that would give him the overall. And in main event number 2, he knew he was in a position where he couldn't push it. He was in third, way behind Webb, way behind Abbott. And when you're a champion, you know how to win championships. You don't take chances on races where you really can't do much with it. He battled through the pack, put himself in position to get the overall, didn't force it, didn't make the mistake, and he trusted himself. He knew that if he got to Moto 3 and could get the start, he could get this thing with a 1-3-1. 1 K-rail to go. He's going to step up and over, and Colton Haker wins the third moto of the day, wins the overall, and takes the championship points lead into round number 2, something we would expect from the champion. He handles business like he's done for years, and the competition right now has got to be worried because Colton Haker is strong in 2020. Webb is second, Tristan Hart is third, Cooper Abbott finishes in fourth, Corey Graffender finishes the top 5. The riders begin to celebrate the podium finishers, of course. Haker, Webb, and Abbott, 1, 2, 3. And Kristen said it early in the show, this was a Colton Haker track. The 2020 AMA EnduroCross Series is brought to you by GEICO Motorcycle and by Kicker Living Loud. Welcome back to Glen Helen Raceway, where the first round of the 2020 EnduroCross season is complete. What a ride for Cooper Abbott, puts himself on the podium. Most importantly, gets the first moto win of his career.
Cooper Abbott earning 3rd overall tonight at Glen Helen. Cooper, you're a different rider this year. You have confidence, you have swagger. We can see it out on track, we can see it off the bike. Where is that coming from?
Yeah, honestly, it was pretty unfortunate last year. I got hurt the week before the first round, so didn't get to show my potential. Obviously, I've made a lot of progress even since then in just building confidence, just putting in more laps. I've been riding with Tristan a ton, and he had some bad luck this weekend, but man, it's been huge practicing with him and just him pushing me all the time. And he's going fast, so it's just always having to push. And yeah, just honestly so stoked to be up here. It's unbelievable.
Consistency wins championships, and with 2-2-2 moto finishes, Cody Webb is right where he needs to be.
Cody Webb earning 2nd overall tonight. Cody, entering that final main event, you were tied with Colton Haker for the Olympic style scoring for the overall. Knowing that moving into that moto, where was your head at? What were you telling yourself? And how did you gather yourself after Moto 2 to be able to put in a 2nd overall in Moto 3?
Yeah, I mean, 2nd moto really kind of messed up the overall here at the event tonight. A bunch of us went down pretty much right away in that 2nd moto. It was my fault. And I think it was Colton drilled my bad leg, and I just had nightmares for a second, but it was good to go. And I got up before those guys, and Cooper had a really big gap, and I was just consistent, caught him, and then I gave it away. Just crashed right in front of him, the same spot I crashed first lap on the final lap. So
Colton Haker came in with a target on his back, and he delivered, winning the opening round of the championship.
Colton Haker with 2 moto wins. Colton, this allows you to take a commanding lead in the series. And knowing that we'll be returning to this track for round 2, what does this do for your championship hopes?
I mean, it's nerve-wracking coming into the first round. It's hard. It's not easy to just come in as a guy and then have that pressure. I think in any sport, no matter what it is, there's always new guys coming up. And yeah, I'm happy to get it done. I'm happy to take the win and have a solid last race, and just look forward to more tomorrow and next couple weeks.